The newest season of Love is Blind, season 8 is out, and we have to talk about it. So good, so good. And let's start with David, because as soon as David starts talking, I am like, oh my gosh, ladies, please run. And there are some things that he says. Now stay with me because David ends up kind of winning me over a little bit. So let me tell you what he said, where this can help you as you're navigating your life. If someone tells you these kind of things, you can also say, oh my gosh, that's what Jackie said. This is a red flag. Let me not stick around for this, right? So David asks immediately to the girls in Love is Blind, hey, what is wrong with you? And he's like laughing and making a joke of it, but I really don't think it's a joke. Like, I truly feel that he is very shallow. He comes off that way. And then he even explains how his career is, medical aesthetics, and he's all about looks. It's always been about looks. And so I was actually really surprised when I saw Lauren continue to speak to him. And I feel like this is sometimes kind of our downfall as women. We're like amazing and we're so compassionate and we have so much empathy and we can like see the potential in somebody. But I got to a point in my life when I was single where like, I am done helping you reach your potential. Like, I've seen potential and I used to put my energy into that and wasted, honestly, so much energy and time and my heart, to people who I saw some good in them, but overall, they were not ready for commitment. David, I don't feel like he's in a place where he's really ready for commitment. And, him talking about losing his mom 6 years ago and was so sweet and open and vulnerable. I think, she wanted him to be in his integrity and probably, respect women and find a deep connection with somebody. But he was honest with Lauren and, he had never found that. So like, these are things that if someone tells you they have never really had a deep connection with somebody, it's always been superficial, it's always been heavily on looks. This is where I would suggest you should be exiting. It's bite time. But Lauren doesn't. Lauren stays. There's so much beauty in Lauren, and I just feel like she's such a good heart. And I'm kind of just hoping, oh my gosh, like, David, don't be an asshole. Do not break her heart. And it actually feels like the person that he's trying to be, for his mom and like how his mom wanted him to be. Like, I really do feel like he has like this inner struggle and he's really trying to get there. I just worry that he isn't the person that he wants to be yet. He hasn't been that person and he's going to test it out for the first time with Lauren. And so like, if his default is to be a douche, to be always like judging women on their looks, to not be loyal or whatever, I am worried that he's going to fall back into those kind of behaviors while he's dating and now engaged to freaking Lauren. These are some massive red flags that were already shown from the beginning. Lauren has kind of swept them under the rug. The other thing is that David was really on the fence about Molly too. And like, Molly's 29. She's single and always has been single, has never had a relationship. And so like, for me, I feel like that's kind of avoidant. Maybe she has some issues there and she doesn't, and so I feel like I saw something happening where they're like, oh, we're so similar. I do think that Lauren's a better match for David. But that being said, if I were Lauren's coach right now, I would be like, okay, wait a second, stop. Like, take it slow. Let's see if his actions align with his words. That being said, when they're going to go now to the next, February 21st, we have the new set of episodes coming out. You're going to see them on their honeymoon or whatever, the vacation. I really hope that she doesn't rush into the physical and have sex with him, because I want to see David at home. Like, how does he treat her? How is he, respecting her, and even amongst like he's going out with friends and work and whatever else, you know what I mean? So I just don't fully feel like secure and safe for Lauren with David. Do I see potential in David? For sure. Do I appreciate his openness and vulnerability? Absolutely. I love that Lauren is so patient and emotionally mature. Like, there's so many great qualities with both of them, but I just don't know, and I need to see it, if David can be that partner that his mom wanted him to be. And I think there's so much beauty in that. And I feel like if he can get there, I would be so beautiful to see it happen. But yeah, I definitely am like, oof, could be so bad for Lauren. And Molly, he said bye-bye to Molly. And I really honestly was so happy about it. Like Molly's nice and she's sweet, but I just feel like Lauren's more ready for that forever partnership. And I feel like Molly's just kind of starting to explore like, okay, a real serious relationship versus situationships. Right? Okay, so let's talk about, we have so much to talk about, you guys. Devin. Like, I really like Devin. And, you know, Devin's a basketball coach and he played basketball, but like how he was so open. I just loved it when he talked about his struggle with pain, and he had really excruciating pain and he started to abuse medication. And I love that he shared that. And I love the way he communicated that. Like if you have ever struggled with addiction, or I feel like this is something where you could hear how he really did not hide anything. He shared it vulnerably, and also like how he has grown from it and appreciating the journey and his own accomplishments. Like he did express some shame in it. And I really loved how Brittany was really comforting to him and helping him not feel ashamed for that, right? You know, Brittany and him were both like had that basketball commonality and they both had that passion, but I didn't feel the chemistry with them two. I really didn't. And so when Brittany was sharing how she has explored her sexuality and has been with women, I feel like, oh my gosh, I love that she was so honest, but she really wasn't crazy about how Devin responded. And at the end of the day, I feel like they just both weren't fully aligned and they both closed it. They're like, this isn't it. We're not each other's person, but they could be friends. And I thought that was super amicable and very emotionally mature. It's awesome. And so seeing Devin and Virginia, them two was so sweet, so much chemistry. I just felt like Virginia is just a badass. Like she is super smart, very accomplished. She went to the same high school with him and she's like 5 years older. And I just feel like she knows. And she even said someone's age does not say, oh yeah, how mature they are. And it's so true. Like how many times have you met someone that's, you know, late 30s, 40s, 50s even, and they're like a man child. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter the age. It really doesn't. And Devin does show so much maturity. And I love that Virginia gets it and understands him and shows up for him. And he also shows up for her. They're just so freaking sweet. And, you know, you see the reveals and oh my gosh, they're all like crazy about each other and they all find each other super attractive. And I love that for them. So cute. Okay. So I'm rooting for them. Let's talk about Joey. Oh my gosh. He compares himself to a golden retriever. He like seriously would be a golden retriever. 100%. And I have a golden retriever. I love golden retrievers. And he's so sweet. And he talks about like, this is where I feel like people win me over is like when they share something so vulnerable, like he had 3 sisters and he talks about one of the sisters had passed away. I just feel like he has his heart on his sleeve. I just feel he's so open and it really allows for him to emotionally connect with Monica. And it's just so beautiful. Like I'm just such a fan of them and how they love to both swing dance and they're just so cute together. And when they meet, I'm kind of like wondering, like, do they really find each other very attractive? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I feel it 100%, but I'm curious to see how they are on their honeymoon. I do think it's like when you first see each other, right after you've been talking for like 10 days, there is like that moment of like, oh my God, I have to put their face to their voice and it causes some awkwardness. So I feel like that was there when they first had that reveal. So I'm curious to see how they really mesh on vacation, right? And they get comfortable. Oh my God, this is Joey. Okay, this is Monica. But they're so cute. Like I'm totally rooting for them. Okay, who else am I rooting for? Ben and Sarah. Shut up. They're so cute. Ben does say he didn't vote and he does say something about, you know, Black Lives Matter. He doesn't really like get involved, which, you know, I feel like it's a bit of ignorance, right? And Sarah is very, you know, passionate about different social causes and she stands for people's rights and all these things, which I love about Sarah. And I love how she communicated that to him. And he was like, I don't really do any of that, but I am on that journey and I want to. So I feel like right now they're like leaning into trusting each other and what they're saying. And I do think, and I'm hoping that Ben has a growth mindset. Like, I feel like he really respects Sarah and he would be curious and lean into what she's about and why she's about it. And he would support her and he would grow into a better person. And I feel like this is kind of like my husband and I, we're like that too. Like we're not exactly the same. We have different passions and different things that we're into, but like we're both so curious about each other. We respect each other so much. So something that I care about, Will really wants to know. Like he's like asking me questions that, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And like he does have that growth mindset. And I think it's so important. Like as you're dating and as you're talking to people, see if they're asking questions about what lights you up or what's important to you. And even if they didn't vote or even if they didn't really give it that much thought, like, are they open to thinking about it? Are they open to challenging themselves? Like that is the most important thing. So like when you're dating, it doesn't have to be like they believe in exactly what you believe. It's more about, are they open-minded? Do they have a growth mindset? Are they asking you questions? Are they curious? Do they respect you? Do they support you? Or are they just, arguing with you and putting you down or putting things that you believe in down or minimizing it or not putting any importance to it? You have to notice that energy and that difference. And people will tell you immediately. And it's up to you to be like, okay, this is not going to help me be my best version of myself. This is actually exhausting me and it's draining me and it's not helping me, align to where I want to be. Okay. So I feel like that's what Sarah's doing. Sarah's kind of like, this is what's important to me. I feel like Ben acknowledges it. He trusts me. He is curious about it and I trust him and they're choosing each other. So I'm hopeful for them. Hopeful. Let's see. Someone else that I want to talk about is Alex. Oh my gosh, you guys, I can't. Because Alex was so sweet. And this is the thing. Alex was bullied growing up. And I felt like, okay, poor Alex, he was bullied and so was Madison and they connected on that. But what I felt that was the downfall of Alex and Madison was when Alex asked, what are your attachment styles? Or what's your attachment style? You guys, how he responded, like I just feel that was unfair to Madison. And I also feel like he maybe had a lack of understanding with attachment styles. And this is why it's important to have a freaking coach, honestly. Like this is the work that I do with my clients. And this is like when you're trying to navigate it yourself, just like watching YouTube videos and like listening to different podcasts is very different when you're navigating with a coach by your side, because never would I tell one of my clients, oh, ask somebody what their attachment style is. If they say they're an avoidant, run the other way. That's never what I would ever say. I feel like, when you really understand attachment styles, and I'll drop the link below that I have an episode about it, about attachment styles. And I'll also drop the link below about applying to one-on-one coaching, because I feel like this is something that Alex should have done. I feel like Alex should have had me as a coach. Because what happened when he asked Madison said she's an avoidant, and it totally triggers him and he's anxiously attached, he says. And in his past relationships, all of his partners or whatever his experiences have been with avoidance. And he's like, oh no, this is not like, I'm always chasing them and like they're not there. So immediately he's triggered. Madison tries to reassure him. And I feel like there's this like disconnect or just not an understanding of your goal is to be securely attached. But it's very difficult to be in a securely attached relationship if you're on the journey, you're reflecting on your relationships, you realize, oh my God, I was really anxiously attached. I was an avoidant. But then you're starting to realize, I want to be securely attached. Let me choose a partner that is there, or at least trying to get there. And that's where I feel like Madison was. Madison was completely self-aware. She was very communicative with that, super emotionally intelligent. Like I'm such a fan of Madison. And she was explaining it really well to him. I just feel like Alex had all of his baggage from his past blocking him. He put his guard up. He couldn't trust Madison. And it's a shame. It's like actually a shame, because I felt like them two, Alex and Madison, were so sweet together. But Alex had all of his past, not allow him to just put his guard down and have like a little bit of a leap of faith with Madison and just trust her. And so right towards the very end, he just chose, no, I can't do this. is too much of a leap for him. I think it's sad because you're just really walking away from something or someone that really was aligned to him. Oh my God, it was so cute when Madison gave him Bearlian. Oh my gosh, a little bear alien thing, Bearlian. And I just feel like there was so much sweetness with them too. There was just like real, like honest, like compassion for each other and this connection and just like this love that was really pure, and I felt it. And I feel like his fears got the best out of him. And it was a shame. And I feel like the way that he navigated it, jumping to conclusions or his fears and him just not being able to like really hear Madison, like hear her and trust her. And at the end of the day, Madison's kind of dodging a bullet there too, because the last thing you want is to have a relationship with someone that is not fully emotionally available. I mean, it sounds like he's still hurt from his past. Like he hasn't healed, where I feel like this is exactly what I do with my clients. Honestly, it's like when you work on healing your past wounds, learning from those past experiences and realizing, oh my gosh, this is what I've learned, and being fearless moving forward, because now you have a different perspective and you have clarity on what you did wrong in the past and why you settled and why you made those decisions. And now you have that power where you're like, oh, now I know how to navigate it moving forward. And so I feel like he hasn't done that work for himself to have that clarity and to feel empowered and to feel fearless. He still has fear. He probably is scared that he's not capable of making the right decision. Like he's not fully trusting himself. And that's the shame of it all, because there's so much cute, amazing, strong potential between the two. And it's gone and it's over. So good luck, Alex. I know, I'm Madison. They're so sweet. Like, honestly, I really wish them the best, but I feel like they're on a journey and they still have a lot of more growth to do, especially Alex. Okay. We need to talk about Daniel and Taylor, you guys. I can't. Oh my God, and Mason. Oh my gosh, stop. First of all, just before I go into Daniel and Taylor, Mason, I just can't with Mason. He kept both Madison and Meg hanging on to the very end. And that was a huge misstep. And I don't think he's a bad guy. I really don't. But I just feel like it's so important to be decisive. And that speaks to exactly what I was just saying about Alex. Like when you gain that clarity, like I really do feel like all these contestants need to do my program before going into this, like Love is Blind pod, just so they have real clarity on their journey, healing their past wounds, making sure they're emotionally available and moving forward, not bringing that baggage with them, but truly creating this space where they can emotionally connect and trust themselves to choose the right partner. So it's so important that you have to do that work first. And I feel like Mason also failed to do that work, and he could not decide between Meg and Madison. But I love that Madison chose. She made the decision. She didn't feel good that Mason was like, you know what? I'm committed to you. He told Madison, and making it sound like he was going to get rid of, bye Meg, but he didn't. He went and saw Meg and kept her around still. And Madison saw that, and Madison's like, he's not someone that kept his word. She didn't feel like she can trust him. And something that keeps repeating throughout the show, which I love is Blind for this. They keep talking about the calm. Like you want to feel calm. You want to feel peace. You want to feel at home. And like, that's what crazy love is. Make sure you're subscribed. This is Crazy Love or Nothing. Crazy meaning not toxic, but it's an acronym for a love where you can be completely real and authentically, zenfully you. And this is truly the love that I have with my partner, my husband, who I've been married to for 17 years. And this is what my clients are finding. And this is what you can find too. And I believe that the people on Love is Blind can 100% find it too. Like, I love that these are all, like, the apps are a tool. Love is Blind is a tool. Like, these are all different tools to find your person, right? And I feel like something that they keep saying, and I love it, when they just want that peace. They don't want the up and down roller coaster. And this is where I feel like Mason doesn't realize that. Mason is like, oh my gosh, I'm so not sure. I don't know what to do. La da da. And Madison trusts her gut. She has this instinctual feeling like this isn't good. I don't feel secure. I don't feel safe with Mason. Bye. And I love that for Madison. I'm so happy that she made the decision. And then Mason's like, okay, then I have Meg. And good for Meg. Like, honestly, good for Meg to be like, you know what? I'm never really going to know if you're ever going to pick me. And honestly, I didn't trust, what's his face, Mason. Like, not because he's a bad guy. I just think he's a mess. Like, I just don't think he really knows exactly what he wants. You know what I mean? And so I'm so happy that Meg said bye-bye to Mason, because I don't think he knew. And Meg deserves a guy. And she said, I want someone that chooses me, that it wouldn't have taken this long to figure it out. And so I'm super happy that Meg did that. And Mason ends up leaving alone. And they show some, you guys, and you make sure you catch up, because you have new episodes coming out the 21st and then more episodes after that. So you guys have to catch up, because they showed a sneak peek of what's coming. And I'm like dying to see what happened with Meg, Mason, and Madison and Alex, to see if any of them get together. Okay. The last people we're talking about. Okay. Daniel and Taylor. You guys, first of all, one of the biggest problems that I see with so many of my female clients is that they're always wanting these tall guys. Now, I know you guys are thinking, you're like, bitch, you're like, your husband's 6'3". My husband is 6'3", but I promise you that was not on my list of like non-negotiables. Like, this is a requirement. It wasn't. It all comes down to chemistry. And so I have dated the short guys. And it's funny, Daniel's like short king season. Daniel is 5'8". And he's like, a lot of women just will not date him, will not look at him because he's short. And so I love that Daniel was really intentional about going on the show, and he just wanted to see if he can connect emotionally with somebody. And so Taylor and him, it really felt that they were so aligned and had these crazy amount of, they would say, coincidences. But I always say it's synchronicities. Kind of like the universe is kind of guiding you and telling you, oh my gosh, you're on the right track. Like, these are synchronicities that you guys are so aligned that this is the right decision, right? And so they both have this passion for Christmas. They gave each other presents that was like Christmas related, and the stockings and all these things, ornaments. I love how Daniel shares vulnerably about his sister who's blind. I love that I talk about prayer, and I just feel like there's so many wonderful things about, both of them, that I was like really rooting for them. I can't believe when they chose each other, what happens afterwards. You guys, this is like crazy. I was like, wait, what? So Taylor had this feeling as soon as she sees him at the reveal, she's like, hey, he looks familiar. And so this is my take on this, okay? Because I know that's what you want to hear as my take. She's wondering, do I feel like I know you because we've been talking for so long and I've created this image of you? Or is it because I actually know you, or I saw you or something? And it occurred to her that on Instagram, he did follow her, and she saw his picture, but never, she allowed his follow, right? Like the request, but she never followed him. And then she said, so you followed me and then unfollowed me. We don't get to hear how he responds. We don't get to hear, but you can see the look on his face, and you can see her. And it feels like, oh my gosh, so she's scared. She's like, wait a second, this guy who I've been talking to came here knowing who I was this whole time and knowing what I look like. And that's scary. That is so scary. You're starting off with a lie. And it doesn't matter how aligned they are, because now she's thinking, oh my God, did he look on my page, see what I'm about, and pretended to be aligned to me and all the things that I am? That is freaking scary. And so she's like, hey, I did know you from before you followed me. And if that's the case, it is bye time 100%. And I think it is the case, because I don't think she's making it up. A part of me did cross my mind. Like, oh my God, Taylor, I know he's short, but come on. I was like, Taylor, come on. But no, I really don't think it's the case. I really do feel like Taylor would be fine that he's short. She even commented on it, oh, better reasons for me to take off my heels. She was okay with that. But I feel like she really did recognize him. And that is scary, you guys. And that's really creepy. And I really want to know what he has to say about it. But I don't think there's anything that he can say to salvage this. No matter what he says, they're done. They're absolutely done. Oh yeah, I did find you and then I stopped. Like he should have then from the beginning. Like seriously, like if let's just say hypothetically, okay? Let's just say that he did follow her and then realized, oh my gosh, she's going to be a Love is Blind contestant. Let me unfollow her or whatever it was that he was thinking. He should have told her in the room immediately, like, oh my God, shit, Taylor, I know who you are. I actually followed you and I would love to keep getting to know you, but I just want to be honest about things. I know what you look like. And then she would have been like, well, that defeats the purpose. And then bye. She might have said that, right? But at least be honest, because there's a chance that she would say, oh my God, I appreciate your honesty. That's so sweet of you. Like, and I'm still open to getting to know you. Do you know what I mean? But freaking be honest right from the jump. This is called lying by omission. He lied. He lied by omission. If this is the case, if he did follow her and unfollow yada yada, which I think he did, because I don't think Taylor's making that up, he should have been honest right from the beginning. And now that he wasn't, and if this is the case, how can she ever trust him? You just can't. Like, trust is broken. You know, I'm all about you going into your life, trusting people from the very beginning, and so they give you a reason not to. This is a huge reason to not trust Daniel. This is massive. This is like 100% mind by moment. I know, and I was like really rooting for them, you guys. I really want to hear from you. Let me know on YouTube. Let me know, who are you rooting for? What couples do you feel are gonna make it? Make sure you tell me also on Spotify. I'll also ask that question there. Follow me on Instagram too, the Jackie Loor, and we can chat there too. Thank you for listening. I really hope that this inspires you to not settle. And it has to be crazy love or nothing. Next time. Thank you for listening.